Welcome back. Okay, what I'm doing here, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? Here, is I've been messing around with some brushes, by the way, in the interim, so I'm sorry I haven't been including you in my doodling. There, B makes the brush go away. Right, what I'm doing is I'm building some towers, but the idea is with these that the player can run up the outside of them rather than the inside of them. So what I'm going to do is just grab my content browser here, and I'm just going to pull out a couple of bits I need, which are this and this. Okay, and this is all we need for the moment. Just going to close that down. Okay, and if we look at these are not really suited to what we need. However, as an asset, you know, these are very, very easy to make, so I'm not in any particular worry. Now I'm just going to change the angle on these to round about 30 degrees, okay? There we are. That's enough for a player to be able to climb up without breaking their legs or anything. And then if I just get this and just turn it around, there we go. And I could have mirrored it just by scaling it, but I didn't. Okay, and I want to get these kind of together as best we can. There we are. So this piece goes onto here and gives it a nice heavy looking feel. Move it along a little bit. There we are. Okay, so this and this are now going to obviously get duplicated. So I'm going to just click, drag it up like that. Now, probably be easier if I do this in a couple of viewports simultaneously, because obviously this one's a lit viewport. Let's just go into this one. There we are. And I want to just line that up there. Just line the bottom of that up with the top of there. Now I want to rotate it 90 degrees. And then I'm going to move it across to about there. Because the idea is we want the player to be able to go around this piece here and just get themselves into all kinds of mischief using it. Okay, just slide that into there like that. Okay, so we've got this platform here, and I'm just going to bring that down a little bit as well. There. Like that, just to even it out a little bit. Now, go down until the last piece I've got selected is this one. And I'm going to Alt drag, bring it up until we're round about here, I think should do. And again, rotate it. This time 180 degrees. And I'm not spending too long messing around with this part because my brain's getting tired, to be honest. I know that may sound a very strange thing to say, but it really is. My brain is getting very tired. Okay, so let's have a look over here and see how this join's going. It's a little bit high, as we can see. And I'm just going to bring it over this way a little bit, and then down. There we are. I mean, you could build a specific mesh to do this if you really wanted to, but this is going to be fine, and it'll get us nice and high up as well, which is good. Okay, now if I just do a quick play from here just to test it. Obviously, if it's too steep, we ain't going to get up it. And if we're nice and high up, you're going to get a good shot at people, but we want you also to get shot. So you see, you're not as high as you are up there, as an example, which is quite cool. Okay, let's drop out of here now, and because I'm in the perspective area, which is where I want to be, you'll have to bear with me, I've got a bit of a sore throat going on at the moment. What I'm going to do is grab these things here, and just hold down Alt and drag them over. Okay, and this will give me the base that I want to start with. Just freshen these to about 45 degrees. Okay, and I like that, I use the word fresh. See, I don't think people use the word fresh enough. How's it doing? Oh, it's quite fresh. Yeah? Oh, nice. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is too long for what we need. And this is all multiples, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one and just move some bits around. There we go, until we get something kind of where we want it. I'm just going to put this in the middle here. Alright, now this draw scale we can return to 1. Doesn't really do much there, does it? This draw scale, let's return to 1. Okay, so that's the stairs. And this part here, this is the wall that we were working with. So let's move that to there. And I want to widen it. 1's not quite wide enough. Let's try 1.4. 1.4 is a little bit too wide, isn't it? But I'm going to have to take into account these corner parts as well. So let's lower this down to 1.2, 1.1. 1.1's ideal. Okay, next. Scratching my ear for fun and profit. Well, there's no profit in scratching my ear, but I'm still doing it. Okay, let's get in here where this part is. Right, and what I want to do is just increase the size of this to 0.6 and 0.6. Make them nice and big. I was about to use the term the imbiginator again. Ah, I just love that term. And who doesn't? Okay. Now we need to obviously come up with a way of making this look better, because at the minute it's kind of primitive and a bit basic. Just put that back for a moment. There it is. Okay, let's just move this along a little bit like that. Okay, and I'm going to, even though I'm not going to use both sides in the end, because when it comes to duplication I don't need to, I'm going to put them on anyway for the moment. Okay, now this, I like it, but I think it could probably do with repositioning, just so that we get something fresh. I was going to say fresh again. Something a bit more interesting. That works better. Interesting, I like that. 0.2. 0.2. Nice small trim there. Move it against the wall. And change the width. Just going to be this one. Now it's clipping on one side and not on the other, so let's make it 1.4. That's clipping on both sides, that's too much. 1.3 isn't. Okay, that's nice. I don't expect you to be using my measurements unless you're really, really, really anally retentive. In which case, good on you, well done. You can have a badge. Okay, flip this over. Oh Chris, why are you so flippant? Why do you say so many hilarious things so we can't concentrate on your learning tutorials? Well, you think it's just flippancy, don't you? But you don't understand. I've got to sit and talk to a computer for hours. I mean, literally hours and hours and hours whilst showing you how to do this. And your brain turns to putty. It really does. Okay, so that's quite nice. That's quite plain. That'll do. Okay, let's go into... By let's, I mean I'm going to. Into here, and I'm just going to delete that part off. And then select all these. There's not many. So there we go. And just hold down the Alt key and rotate it 90 degrees. Then just slide that up into there. Maybe just along a little bit as well. Okay, now add the other parts to my selection. And again, just spin this around. Spinning it around like so. There we go. Yeah, no, there we go. And mash the space bar. Pull back a bit. Okay, I need to get these ones lined up now. And I can't be sure they're going to be right yet, so It's basically just a box, this tower, for the moment. It's not very heavily adorned, but it's what we need at the minute, so there we are. Got a very sore throat. Like, really sore throat. Weird. Okay, so go around this and have another look at it. And what I need to do now is just make sure all the parts are ready to be duplicated, obviously. There's a whole lot of duplication needed. Well, not a whole lot, but you know, enough. Okay, going to this viewport here. It's amazing when you look at this bit, you see, and you realise just how few polys these assets have. By the way, I hope you appreciate that I'm doing this complete end-to-end building levels bit. I didn't have to, you know. I could have looked out the window. Imagine what it would be to be farming. Wearing a helmet. It would have been amazing. Okay, we've got this part here, but we need to build a kind of jerried top on it so that this matches up. And we're going to have a platform all the way around it, except for this bit as well. So, back into here. And remember what I said from previous lessons when we did some more simple stuff about, you know, building in UDK and basically hiding the fact that all these are identical. We're going to be doing that, don't worry. We're going to be adding pipe work and all sorts of things to this. So, and we're going to be doing this before we duplicate it, because we're going to have to duplicate it a few times as well, because these are the support towers. I'm going to go into here, and we need to put a roof on this. So, what I'm going to do is grab my asset browser, or content browser, alright, yeah, whatever. And here we have some sidewalk corners. They're called pavements. Honestly, pavements. P-A-V-E-M-E-N-T-S. But you can call them sidewalks, we don't mind. We'll let you. Okay, and just seeing if there's any prefabs here that we've got, because otherwise we'd have to requisition one, obviously, and we prefer not to, because it takes time. That means waking up a 3D asset modeler from his drug-induced sleep coma. We can probably just use a wall on it, if I can find one that's going to be suitable. Or, ooh, I like that. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Alright then. Let's position these. Then I'm going to resize it in general. Make it a bit bigger. I want it to basically fill this. 1.5 times its normal size seems to have done that. Okay, and now I'm going to go... I like the way that nothing at all is holding them up. That's amazing. I'm going to go over to here. And then I'm going to make a duplicated copy there. And then a duplicated copy here. Like that. Now, I need a girder of some kind, otherwise this is going to look silly as hell. So, let's go and find ourselves a girder from the content browser. There's usually a few knocking around. If we just look for that enormous, great big beam thing that I used, there'll be one or two knocking around near that for certain. Though I'm feeling generous. Should I pause? Yeah, I'll pause. So what I mean, told you, supports I-beam. That'll do. Not very big, is it? But it's big enough. Or we could have this one. That's quite big. I think you'd agree. I quite like that, actually. Although, I've got this nasty, nagging, horrible suspicion that if I was to use that... I mean, one, I've got to make sure our player can get through this gap here. So, let's have a quick look. Bearing in mind how dark it is here suddenly. Well, it seems we can. although there are many a big spiky thing in our way. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this though. Or this in fact. I think I'm just going to have to use the two of them. Which is a shame because I prefer having symmetry, but you know what they say. You don't know what they say. So I'll go over here. Now let's have a look at this lovely great big old beam here, which I'm going to make a little bit bigger than it originally was. And slide it over just a teeny weeny bit. Still not big enough, so let's make it 2.2. Yeah, that looks big enough. Can't beat a bit of good old logical placement. Well, you can. Lovely cup of tea. Okay, that goes there. This isn't wide enough, this piece. Look, it's not coming over the edge here. That's no good at all. So, let's make it wider. Once we find the make it wider selection. That one, I think. Yep, that one. Okay, and I'm gonna just duplicate this over to here as well. That should do it. And bring these two back a bit. Okay, and now we can see down here we've got whatever the heck it is that's going on down here. So that's cool. We can add more detail to that later anyway. And then up here, what I'm going to do is take this, spin it around, and then bring it over. So we can lock it into place. Once I've stopped kind of cartwheeling it around the level a bit anyway. No, we'll have it there. That way it's kind of embedded into the side of this a bit. I might bring it out a bit more as well. I can always make it a little bit less wide once I find the correct axis that I'm supposed to be on, because I've rotated it, of course. That should do it. Alright, so now we have this tower set up with a ramp to access it. Obviously we don't have any detail on it yet whatsoever, but this is a good place for us to start because we have these, and with these we're going to be able to do some fun stuff, honestly. So what I'm going to do now is just alt and drag these out. A little bit more. There we go, like that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next part. Bye bye for now.